To echo Stretch's donation page if you want to lend some support. So there has been a stealthy update to etaHEN version 2.4b to now include this new version of K-Stuff that works up to 10.01. Previously version 2.4b did not include that. It included the previous version of K-Stuff that only worked up to 9.60 unless you updated it manually within the etaHEN settings. But you can see that there has been an update 2 days ago to etaHEN. So that means there's two versions of 2.4b. The older version that includes the older version of this more current version that includes the latest version. So you don't have to go through the whole process of updating stuff within etaHEN. You can just download this updated version and load that one on your PS5. And it will have the latest K-Stuff built in. That works up to Firmware 10.01. So that's been added in the latest etaHEN release. And then beyond we've also had some updates to the Netflix and Hack which project, now adds a new USB external storage image for PS4 and PS5. And these images can be used to get the correct version of Netflix installed onto your PS4 and that PS5. Can then be used to load the jailbreak on those consoles. So before you had to either restore a backup file, which of course resets your console, which is not ideal, and then the other method was to use an NVMe drive in your console, which worked, but that's a bit of a steep requirement to have a Gen for NVMe drive that's compatible with your PS5. To be able to do this and a way to connect it up to your computer, and like with some kind of external enclosure. Whereas this method just uses the normal extended storage on the PS, which is just formatting a normal USB or external hard drive storage on the PS4 and PS5 to store your PS4 applications. So with this, you can just flash one of these images to your extended storage drive, connect it to your PS4 or PS5, and then you'll have the correct version of Netflix that you can load. And you can also copy it from that drive to the internal storage of your console ready to load the jailbreak. Then all you need to do is set up your network settings for the proxy. That can then be used to run the jailbreak when you launch the Netflix application. And on the PS4, you can use this to fully jailbreak the console up to Firmware 12.02 with the lapse exploit just by running the Netflix application and by having the GoldHEN payload renamed to payload.bin on the root of your USB drive. And then when you load the Netflix application, it will run through the userland and the labs kernel exploit, and then it will run the payload, which will also copy the GoldHEN payload from the USB drive to the internal storage, so it can be loaded from there in future. And then it will load the GoldHEN payload, and you'll have your console jailbroken. And I've already done a video that kind of breaks down how to set that up on the PS4. Although the downside with the PS4 version is that you have to have a license for the Netflix application, otherwise it will not launch on the console. And you can only have that license if you've previously downloaded the Netflix application on your console under that same account at some point in the past. Otherwise, you will not be able to load Netflix and use it to jailbreak. The PS5 does not have that problem though, so the PS5 version can be loaded without a license. And you can use the same extended storage method to get the correct version of Netflix installed on the PS5. And the good thing about this is that you can use application the Netflix as a stepping stone to then install the YouTube application and the YouTube jailbreak autoloader to autoload the jailbreak without having to restore a backup file, because you can use the Netflix application with this extended storage method to jailbreak the console once. And then once you're jailbroken, you can then manually set up the autoloader for the YouTube jailbreak without having to restore a backup file and have that all set up there. So that's another big benefit here with this USB external storage method for the Netflix hack on the PS4 and the PS5, which is fantastic. Okay, just a couple more updates we here. Also have the HEN loader, some modified versions getting improved. So this version from Bushigan, the GoldHEN Autoloader Labs Plus Poop Splice IO Deluxe version 1.5. This is currently a pre-release build, so this is the one that has the nicest looking menu for loading the jailbreak. You can load the labs exploit and the poop exploit, but it now also has a couple of other features. The ability to just copy GoldHEN to the PS4 from a USB. If you wanted to update it, you can also start the kernel dumper. Disable updates. There's a homebrew and payload launcher. So if you select that
you have
option, all of the payloads that you can run that are listed here in this menu, and then also a USB payload browser, which presumably will let you load payloads off the USB
that's
drive.
connected.
And then you can also toggle the auto loader on and off, so that next time you launch you can just have it automatically load the jailbreak for you, instead of having to select it in the menu. So that's built in there and as an all-in-one version. I noticed that if you go into the package installer, once you have GoldHEN loaded with this version, it does have all of the main homebrew utility applications on the disk, so that you can just install them directly from the one disk as well. So definitely a nice improvement there. But this is a pre-release build, so it may still have some issues at the moment. So you might want to wait for a full release to be put out there. So another thing that's come up is Karo's host is back. So we have a new update to Karo to etaHEN.ir. So this is one of the OG exploit hosts that have been used to load the web browser versions of the PS4. Jailbreaks going back from 5.05. 6.7 to 7.02, 7.55, and 9.00. So there's two new options that have been added here. You've got the G to All and G to All Pro. So these versions have the auto host with the latest version of GoldHEN now added along with the WebKit PS3 and the lapse exploit, which works on firmware 7.00 all the way up to 9.60, which can be loaded without a USB drive. So this is a great host if you're on one of the older firmwares that's compatible with loading the jailbreak from the web browser. So firmware's on 9.60 and lower. Plus, it has the benefit of also having all of the included here as well. So pretty much all of the different methods that you can use to jailbreak. The console with the web browser are all included here on the one host. On Karo 2, etaHEN.ir. So that's your one-stop shop for loading the jailbreak from the web browser, if you are on an old enough firmware there. So anyway, that's gonna do it here for this update. So hope you guys enjoyed this video or found the information useful. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already.